We'll go ahead and start recording now. Okay, well, thank you everybody so much for being here and for making recycling a priority. I just wanted to express that today's purpose of the meeting is to really just give you the tools for success to teach and educate residents on how to run a successful recycling program. I'll start sharing my screen now. Perfect. Okay, so my name is Julia with Salinas Valley Recycles. On the call today, we do have representatives from Regen Monterey, Kristen, and we also have representatives from the waste haulers within Monterey County. So after the presentation, if you have any questions or comments, feel free. You'll have the floor open to you and with all of the respective representatives on the call. So today's agenda, we're going to just talk about who we are and who are the designated waste haulers. What are the regulations and their impacts for you? What goes into these new green carts? What are the next steps for recycling success? The resources that are available to you and some contact information. Okay, so on the left of the screen is a map of Monterey County. And we just wanted to show you who your designated public agencies are that operate within the county. So there's two public agencies. We have Salinas Valley Recycles, which is the light green area on the right of the map. And everyone in that light green area all share one active landfill in Gonzales. And then we have the blue area on the left of the map that all share one active landfill outside of Marina that's operated by Regen Monterey. When food scraps are recycled, these facilities also manage its processing to become certified compost. Within Monterey County, there are 5 designated waste haulers. So each of these companies are contracted to manage these designated cities and will also be your point of contact for establishing service for the organics recycling. So we have Green Waste, which operates within Carmel by the Sea, Delray Oaks, Marina, Pacific Grove, Pebble Beach, Sand City, and Seaside. Waste Management that operates within King City and unincorporated Monterey County. Monterey Disposal, which operates within the city of Monterey. Republic Services in Salinas, and Tri-Cities Disposal and Recycling in Greenfield, Soledad, and Gonzales. So let's dive into what are the mandatory recycling laws that affect you. So we've had in the past Assembly Bill 341, which implemented mixed recycling for glass, metal, plastic, and paper. Then we had Assembly Bill 1826, which required an organic recycling program for yard waste. And now we have Senate Bill 1383, which requires a food scraps recycling program at your properties. And it also redirects edible food to those in need. So we're going to focus on part 1, which is implementing a successful food scraps recycling program. And so with SB 1383, I wanted to mention that this is the law that we say comes with teeth. So that means any property that's non-compliant, they're subject to penalties, which begins January 1st of 2024. So that gives us a little less than 6 months to get started, get educated, and that's why we wanted to have this call with you today. So let's talk about how SB 1383 works and how to recycle your food scraps. Well, it starts with knowing what goes into the carts. So, for example, items that are accepted into these green carts are grass, weeds, leaves, branches, plant and flower trimmings, small pieces of natural wood, fruit with their pits, rinds, and seeds, vegetables with their seeds, dairy and eggshells, cooked meat and seafood plus their bones and shells, bread, grains, pasta, and nutshells, coffee grounds, and spoiled and uneaten food. What's not accepted in the carts is probably equally as important as what is accepted. To the right of the screen, you'll see what a contaminated load looks like when it's brought to one of our facilities. It's riddled with different types of garbage. This is something that either gets rejected on site and has to then make the long trip back to the landfill, or it gets manually plucked out by people at the other end of the food scrap life cycle. So both of which do require extra processing, extra time, extra labor, and extra money. And then that gets cycled back to contamination fees. So examples of what's not accepted in the carts include plastic or plastic bags, no pet waste, no garden hoses, no paper products. So that includes paper towels, paper plates, and paper cups. No broken lawn chairs, flower pots, pressure treated or painted wood, no bioplastics. So anything labeled compostable is not accepted. No raw meat, liquids, fats, oils, or grease, glass, metal, no food stickers, rubber bands, or twist ties. Okay, let's talk about the next steps for you. So first, you're going to want to coordinate with your waste hauler to have your service set up. So your property will need sufficient service to allow residents to recycle at the maximum extent feasible. This does require having a green cart at your property. Your hauler and your public agencies can assist you with coordinating waste assessments that can help right-size your service. Next, and it's all about educating your residents. So the more that they know, the better that they can recycle. Residents need to be well informed of the recycling programs that are available at your property. You can coordinate your efforts to maximize participation and to mitigate contamination and fees. This can include hosting community trainings, going door to door, and referencing our available resources. Third, you're going to want to find an ambassador. There's a lot of value in finding somebody that's at your property who sees the importance of recycling right and expresses their concerns. You can enroll them to be the ambassador for your property that can alert you when changes need to be made. Also, you can also schedule check-ins. So your hauler and public agencies are here to help. You can keep in touch and request our assistance, and we can tailor ongoing support to fit your needs. So here are some resources that are available to you. Salinas Valley Recycles created a toolkit for recycling success. We have one tailored for property owners and managers and one that's tailored for residents. And we'll go into detail in a later slide. We also have educational videos that are tailored to multifamily properties. We have brochures that can be passed out to residents. We offer property manager training like what we're doing today. We have door-to-door trainings can be requested on a case-by-case basis. We can also assist with community trainings on request and waste assessments. So here's some examples of the multifamily toolkit for recycling success that I had mentioned. So these are example pages pulled from the toolkit for managers and owners. We've created a checklist to make sure that your disposal area is set up for success, a list of resources and contacts for you, and then also how to set up your disposal area for success, making sure everything is labeled. And then for residents, we have examples include a new resident welcome letter. So you can pull this and include it in your welcome kit that you provide to every new resident. We offer troubleshooting tips for when it comes to recycling food scraps. And you can download this toolkit in its entirety, or you can pull pages that you think best fit your property's needs. We also have other resources like this flyer that promotes using a repurposed kitchen pail for the residents' kitchen countertop. So there's so many pails in circulation as it stands that really they can find something that best suits their space constraints or their kitchen sizes. So we have, for example, ice cream pails, coffee containers, yogurt containers, and the list can go on. We also have labels for your carts, like for your food scraps cart, and that way they have a visual of what can go into the carts. That list of troubleshooting tips that I had mentioned is a great resource for them because I know many can be concerned about the ick factor that comes with collecting your food scraps. So these are just some examples of ways to avoid some of that ick factor. Also, when it comes to the external carts, ways to troubleshoot as well. If your cart looks like this, that's awesome. We want loose food scraps. It's okay if the cart gets a little icky. If it's okay if the food kind of starts decomposing. It comes to our facility anyway to be processed into compost. So it's really just getting the process started early. So ways that you can troubleshoot the external cart is you can try adding a little yard waste at the bottom, like weeds or grass. That way it can help soak up any of the liquid that forms from the food scraps. You can try keeping your cart out of direct sunlight if possible. And definitely making sure that the lids stay closed. So letting all your residents know that after they dispose of their food scraps to then close the lid before they walk away. And encouraging residents to use some of these troubleshooting tips can help keep the cart also less icky. So like freezing your food scraps before putting them into the cart are other ways to help reduce some of that ick factor. Other examples of resources are those videos that I told you about. These are really great and these are shareable, so you can send them to your residents, you can send them to your property managers. We have one for managers, one for residents, and one for children. And these are specific to recycling at multifamily properties. We have a video in English and in Spanish, so a total of 6 videos that are completely shareable and available on our website. And with that, I want to leave you with some contacts information. So we have our QR codes available on the left to your public agencies, Salinas Valley Recycles and Regen Monterey. And then on the right, we have all the contact information for your respective waste haulers. So this, like I had mentioned, will be available on our website at the end of the presentation. So if you're not able to, take down all of this information at the moment, it'll be accessible later. And as a little bonus, I just want to remind you that if you're finding yourself getting kind of dumped on after residents move out, leaving behind bulky items like furniture, mattresses, those kinds of things, this is actually something that you can coordinate with your waste hauler. All the waste haulers have different scheduling when it comes to bulky item pickups at multifamily properties, but it is something that you can coordinate with them using the contact information that I left with you on the previous slide. Okay, and that concludes my presentation. I'll go ahead and stop there. And I just want to thank you all again for being here on the training. I want to open up the floor to anybody who may have any questions or comments. And you have your public agencies and waste haulers on the call now for you. Thank you. Okay, are there any questions? I see nothing in the chat as of yet. So if you all have anything or want to unmute yourself, or you can put it in the chat, we're all here for you.
Yes, thank you. And I did just want to say, I know we don't have a ton of attendees today, but our last video has been viewed multiple times. So hopefully this will go out a little maybe shorter format and other people will watch it. So I wanted to, if there's no questions from the attendees, maybe let the other waste haulers or Regen say a few things about your particular entities so that when it does get uploaded to the website, other people can get your information other than contact information if there's anything you want to share. And it's okay if you don't. Go for it, Mary.
Oh, I just figured I'd get things started here. My name is Mallory Treelevin, and I'm the Outreach and Education Programs Coordinator for Tri-Cities Disposal and Recycling. We serve the cities of Gonzales, Greenfield, and Soledad. Some of the things that came up in our other meeting that we had recently might be things that you hadn't thought of or you were thinking of that might be problems. And so I just wanted to bring those up again with regard to the green waste carts. So some people brought up concerns about things, about smells. One of the things I want to mention on the inside of your home or apartment, having a vented container, one that has holes in the top, whether it's a container that's provided by your waste hauler or not, you can put holes in containers if you have, like, let's say a Folgers, a plastic Folgers coffee container. You can poke holes in the lid, and actually by doing that, poking the holes into the lid, air can get in, but if there are any little buzzy creatures, which I've never experienced, by the way, in my vented container, but if you're concerned about that, poking the hole inward means that the creatures, the air can get in, but nothing can really get out because of that hole, the way it's poked in. So that's one thing that'll keep your food waste from putrefying, starting to smell, break down before you take it out to the carts. The other questions people had, a lot of people are really concerned about animals, raccoons, getting into their food waste carts. Two things. One, that food was in the trash to begin with, so it's always been there. We're just putting it in a separate container. But if you are concerned about that, a couple of ideas that people have. One is to have a 5-gallon bucket with a lid on standby. And to first put the food scraps in there before collection day. That allows another thing to happen, which is a great tip, which is if you have a landscape contractor who's managing your landscaping and doing a lot of mowing, contacting them and letting them know that you'd like them to put some of the grass cuttings into your green organics carts. That really helps keep them clean. It really soaks up any kind of liquid from the breakdown of the food that naturally occurs. And then right before collection day, the night before, you can open that 5-gallon bucket or 5-gallon buckets, depending on how many you need. Those lids stay very secure when you close them. So it's very hard for animals to get into them, if not impossible. And then you can dump the food waste on top of that yard waste that was collected during the week. Those are some strategies for that. Also, if you have lid concerns, it's possible to put something heavy on top of the lid during the week, a brick or two, usually gives you a little bit more weight on that lid. And in our cities, it's very windy, so sometimes lids flip and flop. So those are some of the other ideas that we have had and experiences that we have had with mitigating some of the concerns.
Thank you, Mallory. There's a just a little sidebar about kitchen pails and availability of them. Basically, we're out for the most part. Some cities are getting a small amount now on the SVR side. I know the county, if your complex is in the county, there may be availability and you can reach out. Melissa's on the call now, but I believe the tenants would need to go to the office in Salinas to pick those up. And then just want to reiterate that we're trying to get people to utilize their own containers because there's so many in population and we just don't have the resources to buy everyone a container. Zoe and then Cleta.
Thanks. I just wanted to add to some of Mari's comments. Those are great tips, Mari, that you provided. And also on Regen Monterey's website, regenmonterey.org/food scraps. We have quite a few FAQs, tips and tricks. They're not specifically for multifamily properties, but can really be applied to any situation, whether it's a multifamily property or a single family property. But some of those tips and tricks about pests and those sorts of things, or icky carts, can be found there. And I hope that's helpful as well. Thank you, and thanks for attending.
Hello. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Okay. I'm Cleta Johnson with Green Waste Recovery, the waste hauler for about seven of the Peninsula cities. I just wanted to let you all know that our team has put together a presentation for residents. That's for single family residents and multifamily residents. We are hosting it on July 13th. I will add the flyer into the chat, and you can register online. But we'll have an English version and a Spanish version back to back. So any attendees want to participate in that or be in our audience, you're more than welcome to join. So I just wanted to give you guys that information. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kalita. Yeah. Oh, perfect. You put it in the chat. Excellent. Yeah. So anybody that is serviced by Green Waste, Kalita put that in the chat, and then I'll see if I can add it to the presentation. That way, afterwards, people can have access to that link. Thank you. Excellent. Well, any other comments from?
Hey, Julia, this is Christian.
Hi, Christian.
Hey, this is Christian Thornley with Waste Management. I just wanted to make a comment. I apologize for not being on camera. I'm taking this call on my phone today, but I'll drop my information in the chat. So anybody who's in unincorporated Monterey County or King City, feel free to reach out to me. I've partnered with SVR and we've done some trainings and they've been really successful. Julia and I actually did one where we knocked on 35 doors and talked to 21 residents. So that's a pretty good rate of getting to educate people. So we've got some ideas and we'd love to help any way we can. So please reach out to me and I'm happy to help and we can work together on the program. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Christian. So that was Christian with Waste Management, who services unincorporated Monterey County and King City. So any residents or multifamily property managers within those areas can reach out to Christian directly, and I'll have that contact information available after the meeting as well.
And I just wanted to mention, I'm not sure where everybody's from. So any area within Monterey County, both our resources and Regen's resources work regardless of where your organics go. So we made sure that the programs, you can put the same materials in on either side. So you don't have to worry about that. If you like some of our flyers and you want to use them and you don't have a property in our service area, that's okay. Happy to utilize those. And we can we'll keep checking back and check in with us on how we can help you.
Perfect. Okay, well, with that, we can go ahead and wrap up. So we'll have this again available to view later, and I'll have that on our webpage, and I'll share it with Regen so we can have the same resources available. And then if you have any questions afterwards, all of the contact information will be available as well after the call. So thank you all so much for being here today. And thank you for making recycling a priority. Recycling is a good thing, and recycling organics is also a good thing. So just being on the call today, it's showing that you're making this the important factor that it is. So thank you all so much, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. I'll stop recording, and if there's anybody has additional questions or something, stick around, but everybody feel free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.